Hey everyone, just wanted to make a quick video for the book A Wrinkle in Time here. I'm not going to be able to say the greatest amount of it because, one, I'm not the target audience for this book, and two, I actually never read it when I was younger. Look at the description to learn my origin story. It's a little long to explain in this form. But I am glad that I read that because there were a few things that happened in this book that made me go, hey, wait a minute. I wonder if this is the work of media that inspired this particular concept, because the scene where Mrs. Who is describing how she and the others travel through various dimensions and how she's going, the shortest distance between two objects is not a straight line. It's actually zero. Well, if you watch the movie Event Horizon with Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne, and Jason Isaacs, Sam Neill actually has a scene where he takes the second half of what Mrs. Who was doing and saying shortest distance between two objects is zero. And I think I seem to recall that there were one or two other things that the book did that I'm like, oh yeah, so I bet that was inspired, but oddly I'm having a tough time recalling what they are right now, which is a bummer because while this book may not seem like the craziest, groundbreaking thing now, back then, given how this was made in the 60s, I don't really think the concept of dimensional travel was really around in that many works of media. Oh yeah, you have outer space stuff going on because this was during the space race, but it would have been closer to like War of the Worlds, V, that kind of a thing. So it's just a totally different thing. No. So back then, this concept probably would have really resounded with a lot of people, although I don't totally get why Madeline in the preface to the book is like, oh, it's too confusing for adults. I guess what she was trying to do is throw out the idea that adults like, box things and can't adjust the line of thinking, but maybe that's because dimensional travel is something that it's just a lot easier for fiction readers these days. I don't know. That being said, though, one thing that I thought was particularly interesting about this was even though, as the book goes along, it's clear that this book takes place within the U.S., the way that Calvin was describing his schooling, it made me think for quite a lot of this book that this was actually a UK based book. Not that I'm complaining about that. I don't have any complaints about it at all. But how he describes his level of schooling is like stage 8, lower level. I forget what term he used, but it just didn't seem to correlate with how the U.S. education system works today. But then again, a lot could change over the course of 35-ish years, because that's about how long it was between when the book was published and when I started the school system. I was born in 1993. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting. Let's see here. Oh yeah. I do remember what one of the big things was the idea of using the power of love, like within your heart, to overcome an enemy. Yeah, that was the big one. That's the concept of it is pretty good, though unfortunately I can't help but feel like it played out not so much too fast, but I don't know. I just feel like that scene didn't work the best in this format, because I think that one problem a few adults would have with this book is that they felt like that Madeline Engel here was wasting a lot of pages just doing description after description and not really having that much happen. But as I've said before, when I'm talking about Smallville, Buffy, Supernatural, it isn't the battle scenes that make the show good, it's the talking that makes it good. And those other worlds that she describes, in my mind, are great. I would have liked to have known more, but you gotta remember, this is a kid's book, just like how George Lucas has said over and over again. The target audience for Star Wars is actually 12-year-olds. Yeah, so that's why he doesn't spend that much time on the politics stuff in the prequel trilogy, but I digress. But yeah, this isn't about doing a long, fought-out battle. Like, you gotta remember, these are kids that aren't even teenagers yet. What can free pre-teens do against full-grown men who have the power to communicate telepathically? Yeah. Like, what can they really do? What? You know? But yeah. So, her doing more world building rather than actual acting, I don't feel like that's really a bad thing. And the way that, Meg was able to rescue Charles Wallace, it is a powerful scene, but unfortunately, I just feel like in the printed page, it just didn't transition the best. Like, she was trying, but yeah, that's the one scene that I felt honestly could have been a bit improved in my mind. Although I have to admit, I am kind of impressed that Meg's father didn't try and pull like an Obi-Wan Kenobi, but of course, given how Star Wars was made after this, yeah, that's probably all that, yeah. So, I know that this wasn't the greatest video, but again, I'm outside of the target audience, and the only real reason that I'm making this video is because I'm about to start watching the film adaptations, and wanted to experience the original work first. And as I've said before, if I'm reviewing either a series of movies or any other situation where there was like an original work, it's actually much harder for me to talk about the original work than the stuff that comes after it. Alright, I think that finishes this up. See ya.